What is going on, everybody? It is the Going Over Big Time podcast. I am Mike Charlip, and I am joined once again by my friend and co host, Alan the Cantastic. Alan, we are here today to discuss, review AEW Revolution 2026, as well as we are recording this on the following Friday, so we will discuss what took place on Dynamite and the foreseeable for some of the talent. Um, Before we get into the actual review, what was your overall thoughts of the show?
Yeah, I would give it a solid, I guess, 4.5 out of 5 if I had to give a rating. I think I just left out a point 0.5 there because there were just maybe, I don't know, one or two things that were just like, I didn't really need to see that, or they didn't
Mhm.
need to add that in there. But overall, solid show. Like, you got, once again, a couple of matches in there, probably match of the year candidates.
Yeah.
Um, and I would say I was joking to you offline when we were watching the show. Revolution 2026, where everybody comes back, and it looks
Hmm.
like there were several returns that night. That was
Yes.
just like the trend,
Hmm.
and which we'll get into shortly. But overall, pretty solid show. Once again,
Yep. So I enjoyed this show from a wrestling standpoint. Of course, there was a few things storyline wise that just didn't make any sense to me at all. And obviously we'll get into those things. Um, but yeah, there was a couple of things as I dropped my phone on the floor that were questionable, and a couple of those things got answered on the show, but I we'll get into it when we get to those matches. So the pre-show starts. We're back to the regular 0 hour pre-show deal. Um, they were playing this on Triller as well, I believe, but it was mostly you could watch this on YouTube and everything. So there was three matches. Before, like literally like a week before this show, we were told that Big Boom AJ would have a match.
hmm
We just didn't know what that match was going to be. And it ended up being a tag match where he teamed with QT Marshall once again to take on the infantry. All right. So this is your obligatory sports entertainment match on the pre-show deal.
hmm
Um, Pretty paint by numbers Big Boom AJ match. This seems to be like what happens in most of his matches, where like if it's a singles match or a tag match, there's multiple people on the outside, mostly children, and um,
Well, let's not forget there's a veteran, experienced hand in QT Marshall there
yes,
to help Big Boom AJ along.
yes, but yes, he was seconded and third by his son, Big Justice, and the Rizzler again. And I mean, all a package deal at this point. Um,
Yeah, there was a lot of people here. Aaron Solo was there also, and
oh
on the other
yeah,
side, the infantry, which is now part of what's called the Shane Taylor Promotions.
of
So they
course,
were accompanied by Shane Taylor, Trista Dora, who was part of the infantry, and a stacked, very tall woman by the name of Crystal XO, which I had to ask you about. And it turns out
mm,
she was a former, I guess, women's basketball player that is now doing wrestling.
Kristen,
Kristen. Okay,
yeah,
but yeah, but she was called Crystal XO on the show. Um, yeah, she
I
looks like she
believe,
could work. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, she's a former basketball player who appears to be part of the Shane Taylor Promotions, and I mean, based on what I see, I think she's dating Carly Bravo.
I guess,
I
but
mean,
yeah,
based on what I saw on screen, but yeah, there was a moment where the Rizzler was
yeah,
rizzing
we'll
for.
get it. We'll get to that in a minute. But let me. I want to bring the attention to the celebrity
Oh
appearance of
yes,
this. Wayne Brady, as in from Whose Line Is It Anyway, as
mm-hmm.
well as I guess a number of other
Chappelle Show.
shows. Chappelle Show, thank you. Uh Apparently skipped the Oscars
Yes,
to attend Revolution. So
yeah, I mean he's always been a wrestling fan, so
yeah.
I get it. But yeah,
I think
this
yeah,
was
on the pre-show she was interviewed, and I guess they asked him something like, "What's your favorite finishing move?" or something like, "If you're a wrestler, what's your finishing move is gonna be?" And he said, "My finishing move is gonna be the bitch slap," which he later demonstrated.
yes. Well, of course, that is a Chappelle Show reference
Okay.
because
Yes.
Wayne Brady gonna smack a bitch.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, again, it's pretty like paint by numbers stuff. They seem to just all these things happening throughout the match. Just um, Big Boom AJ, great wrestler. I mean, I don't know why we have to do all of this other stuff during the match, but I will say that it doesn't really matter because as long as this is on the pre-show and not the main card, I don't care.
Oh yeah.
If this was on the main card, we'd be having another conversation. But
Right.
um, yeah, not surprised by the winner at all. There was obviously like all kinds of shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean,
The
I mean,
Rizzler,
yeah, yeah. So the match basically, so the only part, so I guess what you're about to describe is really all I remembered from this match. Uh,
yeah,
Crystal or Christina, whatever her name is,
Kristen.
she can go because apparently she just gave a big boot to, I think it was either QT or AJ. I think it was AJ.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's looking devious, and then yes, the Rizzler comes up, and what? How old is he? An 8-year-old child.
He's like
This child,
yeah, 8 or 9.
8 or 9-year-old child walks up to this grown woman, I can assume, and
Yeah.
starts rizzing on her.
Yes, doing the Rizzler.
Which she appears to reciprocate.
Carly Bravo is not a fan of that.
Yeah. And I guess this is leading to the ending sequence whereby somebody outside. Oh yeah, Shane Taylor, I think, started
Yeah.
interfering.
So Shane Taylor got in the face of Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady smacked him as he claimed that he would. And
Yeah,
then
because and Shane told him to. He put his hands behind his back and said,
yeah.
slap me, and he did.
And he quote unquote shoved the Rizzler. I mean, like as lightly as possible as a very large man could shove
Yes,
a 9-year-old.
Shane Taylor is 300 pounds probably and counting, and he's a super heavyweight. And
Yes,
here he is.
and then that was followed up by a 15-year-old spearing Shane Taylor.
So let's just recap the sequence here. Wayne Brady bitch slaps Shane Taylor. Shane Taylor grabs Wayne Brady and then just throws Wayne Brady over the barricade. The Rizzler comes over. Shane Taylor, a grown man, does not like what he sees and shoves his 8-year-old child to the ground. And then looking very proud of himself. And then you got the Rizzler's best, I guess, friend, 15-year-old Big Justice, coming like a runaway train and just spearing a full-on professional wrestler to the ground.
Yeah.
And I think at that point I said, this doesn't seem believable.
Of course.
At least that part.
Of course not. But yeah, so that yeah, all of that.
But that little bit of distraction leads to one of the infantry guys taking the Boom and Doom Doomsday device from AJ and QT, and we have our winners.
Yes. and that was that. And Wayne Brady got in the ring and celebrated with them.
Yes, yes, he did.
All right, so the next match. So this became like a story throughout the show where and it's kind of been building to this. Willow challenged uh Lena Cross to this match and then said, "Hell, we'll put the tag titles on the line also." So Lena and Willow both worked twice on the show in two different title matches. Now, this has been a gripe of many people of like when people in this company or in any company have multiple titles, they focus on one of those titles and not both. In this case, I was okay with this because she defended both titles. Whereas on the pre-show, she faced Lena Cross for the TBS championship, and this was a fine match for what it was. Lena Cross is a giant in comparison to a lot of the roster. Um, very good worker. Willow is, of course, great, and yeah, this was a fun match for what it was. Um, and yeah, this became even like Harley Cameron when Willow decided to have both matches was like, is this a good idea? Like, because you knew like she had to lose one of these, right? I didn't think it was going to be the TBS, which is what happened. She retained the TBS title, and yeah, it was a fine match for what it was. And then after the match, she got attacked by Lena and Megan Bain, and they targeted her ribs. And Harley was very late to the safe. Very late. And yeah, so Willow retained here, and then before the tag title match later, which we'll talk about, they showed that Willow was injured and
Not 100%. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Now that I apologize when I saw that match, and I only found out as you were mentioning this that it was actually for the TBS title, because
Yeah.
I was wondering why they were doing a
Mhm.
singles match between two of the teams that were going to compete for the women's tag titles later that night.
Yeah.
But now including Willow's TBS title, that made more sense to have, because yeah, okay, if she wants to be a fighting champion, sure. If you want to defend both titles, sure. And I'm glad also this was on the pre-show because it didn't take away from the main story, which was the tag team titles.
Yeah.
Even though it's a title match, then usually you have it on the main show. But I think as a storyline telling piece, it worked pretty good here. Hello. Sorry guys, looks like Mike is frozen.
No, I'm fine.
Okay, sorry. You didn't respond to me yet, so I wasn't sure whether.
No, I said we'll talk more about that when
Okay,
we
sorry. I must have missed it. I don't know. It looked like you just didn't react.
Well,
Like you weren't moving. So anyway, sorry about that.
Yeah. All right. So the final pre-show match was a what did they call this? A 21-man blackjack battle royal for the AEW National Championship. And unlike previous gauntlets or stuff that AEW has done, this was just a standard battle royal where for some reason everybody started outside the ring.
So yeah, I have so many thoughts, I think, about this because I just recently rewatched this this afternoon. Yeah, first of all, they started in I was thinking like, is this like some version of the TNA reverse battle royal where everybody starts outside? Because everybody was just wailing on each other outside.
They didn't have pretty much they basically didn't have any surprises in this match. I guess they weren't expecting any. They just had a lot of people on the card that didn't have anything going on.
What I noticed the trend was it was like guys were appearing, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know he was in the match. So
Yeah. Well, they didn't announce
right,
participants really.
for example,
Like
Castle. Dalton
Champa said
Castle
he
was
was in. Sorry. Champa said he was in the match. We were told that Hook was in the match, but he was apparently not cleared.
Hmm.
And there was a video that played that before the pay-per-view where like Beretta and Romero and a couple other people declared for the match.
Yeah. I guess one thing that I guess that's now came to me is that I didn't really understand why it didn't make sense. They allowed like the Bang Bang Gang, all the members that were available to be in the match. LFI, all three of them were in the match. But then why wouldn't Ricochet, as the champion, have his two like bruisers in there with him?
Well,
like Gates of Agony, because they're walking out together, and then they said, "Oh no, you guys aren't in the match. You can't be in here." I'm like, "Well, it's no DQ, right? So whether they were in the match or not, why can't they just be the heavies out there just protecting Rico? You know?"
They ran out of entrance.
They ran out of entrance. That does not make sense to me. I don't even know what that means.
Of course not.
So yeah, but I think some of this is leading to some of the real life situation, maybe alluding to Ricochet, which we'll talk about.
Yes, which we will get to. But this being in California, we knew who was winning this match.
Yeah.
Jungle Jack comes out in the Jurassic Express bus that is driven by a one-handed dinosaur.
It's not the Magic School Bus, but it's close enough.
A one-handed dinosaur is driving this bus. I don't know if that's very safe. But as far as participants go, we had Rocky Romero, Austin Gunn, AR Fox, Johnny TV, Scorpio, Blackheart, Leo Rush.
We'll explain that in a minute.
Yes. Dralistico, Anthony Bowens, Dalton Castle, The Beast Mortos, Trent Beretta, Commander, Daniel Garcia, Katsuyori Shibata, Roosh, Ace Austin, Tommaso Ciampa, Juice Robinson, El Clone, Ricochet, and Jungle Boy. Jack.
Okay, so you mentioned Leo Rush.
Yes.
I actually like the way they kind of introduced Leo in this, because they were Tony at one point. Shivani was like, "Somebody's under our table. I don't know who it is, right?"
Yeah.
And then they said, "Oh, it's Leo Rush." And then I think one of them said, "He kind of looks different." And you're like, nobody really thought about it a second thought until you saw Leo, and he's in there. His head's completely shaven. He's got contacts on that makes his eyes look all milky white, and he's like cackling like Gollum from Lord of the Rings, and then he's doing this weird thing where he's like jumping up and down like a spider monkey, and then he does a suicide dive through the second rope, and then throughout this whole thing he was just looking like he went from like the kind of street guy crew with Action and Andretti to I'm like, what the hell is this?
To the point where Action and Andretti was like, we need to have a conversation.
Yeah, man. Like, are we doing it? And it's like, what the hell's happening here?
So he has done this gimmick on the Indies and in New Japan. This is the first time that he brought it to AEW. I guess the crew wasn't working. I mean, they weren't really doing anything except being on ROH, and they put what's her name?
Lacey Lane or something like that. I can't remember.
That was
She used to be Kaden Carter, right?
Yes,
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So they put her with them, and then they just vanished or went to ROH, which is almost the same thing, and haven't seen him since. So I don't know if this is going to be like a permanent thing for him, or if he's just going to bring this out once in a while. I mean, he's using it on Collision tomorrow.
Yes, he will be facing Tommaso Ciampa
Yeah.
in a one-on-one match, which I'm kind of interested in. And it actually stemmed from this battle royal because I believe Ciampa eliminated Leo
Yes.
in a sequence.
Yes. So yeah, this obviously the final four came down to Ciampa.
I like to go through some of the rather hilarious spots.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Let me try and remember one. Okay. LFI, really their own worst enemy here. Realistico hopped onto the turnbuckle, at which point Shibata, apparently inspired by his buddy Samoa Joe, who loves to just walk away from high risk spots, just like he's taking a stroll through the park. Shibata simply just shoved Jalistico. Little nudge, and Jalistico goes flying outside the ring. He's gone.
The perfect example as to why you should never try to do a dive in a battle royal.
So that's interesting. So I think the commentary team mentioned that once you get in the ring, if you fly over the top rope and land outside, you're eliminated. So Commander, before everybody got in the ring, including himself, did his spot where he walked the top rope and then did that crazy dive. So they mentioned that, like, oh, he wasn't in the ring yet. So if he had done that when he got in the ring, he would have been eliminated. This just brings me back. Beast Mortals, he did one better. He just eliminated himself. He just basically jumped over. I think he was trying to like smash somebody in the corner, probably Shibata, probably or somebody else. Oh yeah, now I remember it was Shibata because Anthony Bowens, who is apparently applying to join the Ops, saved Shibata during an LFI confrontation. And so Shibata ducked while Beast Mortals flew over a rope and eliminated himself, which I thought was really funny to watch. Actually, both of those were really funny to watch. Even the commentary team was laughing at Jalistico, how he got eliminated.
There was a funny moment where Rocky Romero stopped what he was doing to do the shoulder shake thing that he does, and then Juice Robinson just came up right behind him and threw him out. Jack Perry was biting Ricochet's head.
Yeah, and at one point, Ricochet was getting help from Daniel Garcia for some reason. And but oh yeah, speaking of bald heads, the number of bald participants in this match was actually quite impressive. You know that nobody had the champion Ricochet himself. Leo Rush, we just mentioned earlier, shaved his head. Tommaso Ciampa, who came in bald. Johnny TV, who lost a hair versus mask/hair match in CMLL, has come back. His beautiful locks are gone. I was commenting to you, I was like, wow, is there a thing where they decided like you had to shave your head to be in this match? Because I'm like, why is Johnny TV bald? And you told me. You know, several other people in this match were bald. It was just like a bald-a-palooza in there.
Jack Perry had more hair had the most hair for everybody.
Right, exactly. For like 4 men combined.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of hot, like fast sequence stuff. And I guess in a sense, the doing stuff on the outside kind of makes sense because they wanted guys in the ring to focus, like they wanted to focus on a certain sequence, right, in the ring. And if you have all of like 20 plus people in there at once, it's kind of like hard to focus on who you should be watching and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Because you got moments where like it was like Leo Rush and AR Fox, and then you got Shibata with LFI, and then you got, you know, Jack and Ricochet going at it, and then you got like Ace Austin was pretty good actually, and stuff. So it was just like people did their thing, they roll out, and then suddenly some new people come in and start doing stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that's like you were saying, like starting on the outside makes sense just so because there's more space to do stuff before you actually get to eliminating people. So the final four of this match was Juice Robinson, El Clone, Ricochet, and Jack. Sorry. They started this match on the pre-show and finished it on the pay-per-view. So we did not see Tommaso Ciampa get eliminated because he got eliminated while the pyro was going off to start the pay-per-view.
No, so I watched the pre-show. I caught that last moment when Ciampa got thrown out,
Yeah,
and that was
yeah.
literally
It was like the
the
very
last moment
last
of the
second.
pre-show. Right, right.
Yeah. So then the pyro goes off. Like they did this again. It's fine. I think it only works for like a singles or a tag match because if people are getting eliminated while the pyro's going off, it's kind of hard to catch that. you know. But yeah, Jack Perry ends up winning this match. As again, I think we all pretty much expected him to do so. I don't know why they couldn't just have Jack Perry versus Ricochet. Like,
Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe there was not enough of a. Well, I mean, to build a storyline, but I guess it was like I didn't mind. I thought it was overall this whole thing was really entertaining. Like you
yeah, no,
introduced a
it was
number of
fine for what it was.
things, and so the only thing I didn't like was that they didn't announce who's eliminated, which
Yeah.
I thought was easy enough to do, because Rouge was eliminated twice.
Mm-hmm.
He was eliminated, and then he just rolled back in to wail on the guy who eliminated him. And he gets thrown out a second time, and they're like, "Hey, referee, can you enforce that? You like, there's literally 4 of you, and like, what are you doing?"
Yeah. So yeah, this match was fine for what it was. So we'll see. So Jack Perry, him and him and Luchasaurus did like a road trip thing on Dynamite where they made a bunch of stops on their way from LA to Fresno.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped to feed a squirrel. But and then they showed up on Dynamite in the bus and for Jack to compete in the main event.
Yeah.
Which was a fun match, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. All right, so I guess we gotta shift gears a little here and talk about Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
So Ricochet played up losing this match, and on social media they did like a backstage where he was destroying stuff, and he wasn't happy that he lost, and that he couldn't get help from his guys or whatever. And of course, Ricochet has been very openly playing his character on social media. He's been trolling people left and right that either troll him or he replies to WWE stuff. He's playing himself on social media, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but there is a line. You can be a troll and play a heel on social media and all of that, and even if, like, obviously he doesn't like being attacked no matter who it's from, but there's just certain things that you don't say, right? So a woman on social media, on Twitter/X, commented on this promo video that Ricochet did and laughed and said he still can't talk, which is blatantly not true. But Ricochet decided to respond, and I assume he looked at this woman's profile before responding. On her profile, it states that she has multiple sclerosis, MS. And Ricochet responds, "I'm glad you have MS."
Ugh.
Which is not nice.
That's an understatement of the year. So yeah.
Yeah. So of course this got overblown, I think. But even though he is wrong for saying that, 100%, he is wrong for saying that. However, it should not result in death threats. It should not result in Ricochet's wife receiving messages that they're going to come to their house and beat them up because somebody said something on social media. Now, yes, what Ricochet said, he should not have said, and he took it upon himself to apologize. Reports came out that a friend of his told him that he should apologize. His boss did not. His company that he works for did not. He did that under his own power. He chose to do that because somebody close to him told him it was the right thing to do. And it should end after that. That's where it should end. He realized he made a mistake. He's not going to do it again, I hope. And that's it. We don't have to vilify him now. Yes, it was not a good thing to say, but it's over. That's it. He didn't do anything to the level where you need to attack him over and over, say he, whatever it is, or attack his wife or anything like that. He realized it was the wrong thing to do. He took it upon himself to be better about the situation, learn from it. And there's reports that his job might be at risk. I don't believe that. But especially with certain people that have come into this company on this show that we're going to talk about that have said much worse things. But yeah, so your overall thoughts?
I didn't know about the part where he was getting death threats and Samantha was getting death threats, so that is really disturbing.
Yeah.
So this happened after he lost the title?
Yeah, so they posted a
Right.
video on social.
Okay.
Where he was swinging a chair and screaming and yelling about losing the title.
Okay, so that takes out the whole, gee, I wonder if it was because of this that he lost the title. But I guess the thought that was coming up in my head was that does AEW have this weird double standard here? Because Trey Miguel, I bring up another person, said something also pretty lousy and horrible in the past several years ago, but he immediately apologized to that person. But unfortunately, this one incident was apparently a reason why he was not signed along with the rest of the Rascals when they all got signed to AEW. Now, this situation is literally the same as Ricochet. A little bit, maybe a little different here and there. A friend said he should apologize. It was about like someone's a serious illness too. But yeah, he also immediately apologized, and so it seems, and AEW didn't do anything.
So
and it's like, is this
Trey
because
Miguel,
he's an employee and Trey was not at the time? But technically, you signed Trey, so technically at the time he was under you, contracted under you.
Well, the Trey Miguel thing was not an AEW call; that was a WBD call, which is like AEW probably would have kept him around if it didn't go above AEW. Okay. I can't imagine that the same thing is going to happen here. But again, we've talked about this in the past. The Trey Miguel is the perfect example. But again, we're going to talk about Ronda Rousey on this show. Yeah. She has said a lot worse things than Ricochet. And she has a job or is appearing. I don't think she's hired. I don't think she's hired.
No,
she appeared.
They did not do a graphic. No. So we'll talk about that later.
But yes. And again, there's worse things that people that are working there have said.
Yeah.
Sammy
I think the other thing is just this just goes to wrestling in 2026 really different. You can't be in character all the time now, apparently, because everybody knows you're a real person underneath and that you don't actually think like that. So when people get, I guess, a little bit carried away and over the top with their presentation, right? If they want to try to keep it kayfabe, quote unquote, then uh, unfortunately, there are downsides to that. Society is a lot different now than from like 1986 than it is now in 2026,
Yes,
and
of course.
there's things that you can't, people, and with like social media, everybody else knows exactly what people are doing in real time. So it's a more complex world. I just hope I just hope Ricochet. I hope Ricochet. I'm glad he apologized immediately as soon as he did, and I hope this doesn't have any more serious repercussions going forward.
Yeah, I hope that he will dial down his social media output.
Right. We
Um,
see enough of him on TV doing a shtick.
yeah,
Sometimes you don't really need to be on the socials to amplify that.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, the guy's been killing it in this company. I don't. I imagine AEW doesn't want him to go anywhere. So um, I think what's going to happen is that they're going to keep him off TV for like a month to
Mm.
let it die down. This is just my speculation. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything. But I imagine they'll keep him off TV for like a month. He'll probably go social dark for that time, or at least he should. And then he'll come back
Yeah.
and we'll hopefully move on from this.
Yeah. I mean, my last point, this might be a good indicator that AEW should invest in some social media training for their employees who actively use these platforms,
Mm-hmm.
so they have some idea of how to properly behave themselves.
Agreed. And I will say that, like, not defending what he said, he has every right to defend himself on social media. It's just the words
Yeah,
are,
don't like dig at someone having MS when they clearly indicate that they have MS. How about
yeah,
that?
of course.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, we'll hopefully things will die down there, and we don't know what's next for Jack right now. He was again on Dynamite, had a match, but didn't really plant any seeds for anything right now. All right, so we're now into like the official main card. Like this match started on the main card, ended on the main card, but and I mean, we started out the show basically with the best match of the entire show, uh, which is crazy to me. But and not only was it was the fifth meeting between these teams, and it was the best one by far. Like,
Yeah, you remember all the times the FTR and the Young Bucks have faced each other. They've done it all. They've like up the ante every time, and like you'd think, oh, who the heck can top this? But I'm like, oh, well, there you go.
yeah, and yeah, I love this match. So of course, the AEW World Tag Team titles are on the line. FTR defending against the Young Bucks, and the Young Bucks were basically working from behind the entire match because Nick got busted open bad, like first 5 minutes. Um, everybody got color in this match, I think, except for Matt. Um, the Young Bucks never uh, are bloody in their matches, almost never. Like to the point where I think if Nick bladed here, he probably did it too hard. Like because he lost a lot of blood. I mean, this wasn't a Eddie Guerrero at Great American Bash situation, but it was, yeah, he was bleeding like the whole match. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of great moments in this match, a lot of trading of moves, stealing each other's double teams. Um, and yeah, it just felt like obviously these two teams work great together. Their last two or three matches were not like amazing by any means. The first before this match, the first meeting was their best one ever. But this one blew that one out of the water. And yeah, there was just so much. People are going to complain about the finisher kickouts. That's just part of wrestling now. Finisher kickouts is it's everywhere. It's happening everywhere. It's all the time. It's very rare that anybody's finisher is really that protected anymore. There's very rare occasions, like only one person ever is kicked out of the one-winged angel. So it doesn't bother me with the like multiple chatter machines, multiple BTE triggers, Meltzer drivers. But yeah, this match was amazing. I loved it, and probably the best moment of the entire match, and Matt has already talked about this. There was a moment during the match where Matt was hurting, like he was holding his shoulder like a lot during this match, and he went out of the ring, and we forgot to mention they came out with all of their children during their entrance,
yeah,
plus their niece and nephew,
right,
dressed like them, Bucks and Lakers colors, and for LA, and FTR in Celtics colors, and so everybody in their family is sitting at ringside. Of course, the storyline going into this match was the FTR attacked the Young Bucks' brother, shoved their dad, shoved their mom, and so Matt is hurting at one point, like midway through the match, and he goes outside, and his youngest son just like gets in his face, and like they go like noggin to noggin, and his son is just like, "Get back in the ring, go get him, go do it for us, beat him up, get him." This moment, and I don't even think that was planned. I think that his kid just did that, and it was amazing. It made the match even better because it like fired Matt up to go back in the ring, and it was amazing. Easily, like, and Matt has already said that is his favorite moment of his entire career, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm sure he's very proud of his son for that. Like, that was great. That's going to be replayed for years. Like, that's an all-time moment for them now. And yeah, I mean, obviously Nick was kicking out of everything. Literally everything. But he could not kick out of a avalanche big rig shatter machine.
Also, before this match ended, it was like I think Stokely got taken out by a suicide dive.
Oh, yes, and
after he miraculously stood up.
Yes, he can walk.
Yeah. And what was surprising me is I don't recall Stokely getting himself involved like that much. So in a sense, this match ended pretty cleanly with that avalanche shatter machine. So it was like that last sequence when they're going for, I guess, another Meltzer driver, and then
I mean,
there you go.
They were even trying to pull out moves that they hadn't done in a long time because FTR kicked out of the Meltzer driver, kicked out of the BT. They almost went for the more bang for your buck. They don't do that all that often anymore. Like, but yeah, this match ruled, and we got the thing that I told you that I expected to happen.
Yes. And as I mentioned before, where everybody comes back in this pay-per-view,
No, because literally, all right. So we're talking. We were talking during the show, and I didn't even say, "Watch, they're going to come back." I said, "Hey, we haven't heard from Cope and Christian in a while."
Like, right? And it's like, well, pay-per-view. This is the fifth six match of the FTR Young Bucks, it seems pretty important. This was like a
Yeah.
killer match. I wonder like, are they gonna do a thing later? Like,
Yeah, and I thought that the Young Bucks were going to win here.
right?
Um,
Yeah,
I didn't think you needed to do this feud with the titles,
right.
but yeah. So the lights go out after
Mm-hmm.
FTR wins, and on the screen it said so first it says
Even,
even,
yeah,
and then it changes to uh venge,
Evenge, yeah. The G
evenge.
appears,
Yeah.
and then it turns into Evenge with the E at the end, and then the R comes up, Revenge, and it's the rated R logo,
Yes.
and then you hear Metalingus, and everybody goes nuts.
Yep.
Adam
And
Copeland returns.
yes, Cope is back. And then immediately after that, Christian's music plays.
Mm-hmm.
And he enters through the back of the ring and
Yes.
sprays Dak
Mace,
Mace
apparently.
Cash in the face.
Cash in the face. Blinds the man. Cope spears the crap out of Dax. He's out of commission. That just
Yeah.
leaves poor Stokely in the ring
Yep. To
with
also take
two Hall of Fame wrestlers.
he got a low blow, didn't he? And then a spear,
Yeah.
or no, it
Well,
was
he
unprettier.
he took a kill switch,
Yeah, that's it.
and we were like, "Oh, Stoke is flat on his stomach, flat out again." Just when he learned to once again to walk.
Yeah, well, he
Yeah.
finally ditched the wheelchair
Yeah.
on
And
Dynamite.
then
But
after
yes,
that, yeah.
the Young Bucks enter the ring,
Mm-hmm.
and we get a stare down that we
Yep.
never thought we would ever get ever.
Yeah, and
But
at the point after FTR was thrown out of the ring, Cope and Christian pick up the titles, and they're looking at them like, yeah. And that was the stare down with the Young Bucks at Dynasty,
yeah,
and then it was on Dynamite where the Young Bucks came out and did a very heartwarming, heartfelt promo about how they thought they were going to win with all their family and their friends out there in Los Angeles.
yep,
Cope and Christian came out. I think Matt and Nick were sounding extremely dejected at that point.
well, this
And
was
then-
after the 6-man main event.
Oh yeah, this was after the 6-man main event. You're right.
Yep.
And then Cope and Christian came out and like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? You're like one of the best tag teams ever. So don't ever say that about yourself. But I think
Yep.
they made a comment too. It's like, who would have thought you'd see this, huh? It basically Edge and Christian and the Young Bucks. It's like 2 generations of tag teams facing each other in the ring.
Yep.
And then I think what Cope and Christian said was that, yeah, we're gonna go after the tag team titles. So respectfully, guys, Matt and Nick, just letting you know that. I think Adam's reasoning was just for more basically payback because it will hurt FTR more to take those titles from them than to break their nose or spike their face.
Mm-hmm.
I love Christian's answer. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna make a shit ton more money. That's why I'm doing this.
I gotta say that I think it's time for Christian to ditch the turtlenecks. Like, I'm kind of
no. I actually like it. It makes him stand out. It makes him look like the asshole. He says he's an asshole, and that is the asshole outfit, right?
I get it. But and then it was announced, that at Dynasty,
in
FTR,
Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada,
will defend against Cope and Christian. The Young Bucks have to work their way back up the
rankings or
the non-existent rankings,
or the ladder of contention, if you will.
Yes.
Which they did. They slipped out of the ring. They just walked off, and now we're all going to be focused on Cope and Cage, FTR, Dynasty, Vancouver, Canada.
Yeah, so we're finally going to get that blow off, I think. I mean, there's people are speculating we're going to get a TLC match down the line between these 3 teams.
Oh boy.
Don't make Cope and Christian do that.
Yeah, if you were telling me that Edge and Christian from like 1997 would or 19, I don't know what 2000 would be doing
yeah,
this, I'd be okay. But this is not.
I
This is
don't.
26 years ago.
I've seen what happens when 50-year-olds get put through tables. I
Uh,
I I don't need that.
yeah, well, we'll have to see what Dynasty is in a month's time from now,
It's
approximately
like 3 weeks away.
3 weeks actually. It's wow, it's actually coming up really quickly.
Yeah.
So yeah, because it's gonna be what is it, April 13th or April 12th? I can't remember.
Yeah, either that or the week after.
Well, it's gonna be before WrestleMania, as far as I can remember.
Oh yeah, well WrestleMania is the 18th. So.
Yeah, I mean, Dynasty is Sunday, April 12th.
Okay, the week before Mania.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously we want to see Cope and Christian have a legitimate tag run and have them face all these other teams that they've never faced before. And I mean, we've seen them face FTR, but this is a blow-off feud. I mean, so, but yeah, we're gonna see them face the Young Bucks one day. We're gonna see them face probably Bailey and Knight. You know, all these other teams. So yeah, we'll see what happens. The next match on the card is one of those matches that I had a questionable result, in my opinion. And it was everybody banned from ringside.
During the match.
During the match.
Yes.
Timeless Tony Storm taking on Marina Shafir. And I thought this was going to be a blow-off because this has been going on for a while.
Right.
And I guess it wasn't, but I guess now it has to be.
You would have thought this would have blown off after that hair versus hair thing. And
Agreed.
It was like when everybody just agreed, Wheeler, you're getting your head shaved, you dumbass. Like it was that was the perfect way to end it. But it was like they kept fighting, and I'm like, why are they still fighting?
Yeah, I guess that was the finality between Orange and Yuta, and not Tony and Marina.
Right.
But yeah, so we had this match, which I thought was fine for what it was. I thought Marina was going to go over because Marina needed it more. Like, she's not winning big matches. She's lost pretty much every big match she's ever had, except for Blood and Guts.
Yeah.
Like, everything. And
I guess in a sense, this match was like the payoff from Blood and Guts, where Tony was forced to surrender because they were going to harm her friend Mina, and so ironically, but
that was in November.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
It is March.
It's like you got that, and then you had another gimmick match, a hair versus hair thing. It's like, what else could you have done? I mean, this match lasted like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And the match basically ended with a small package, a timeless Tony Storm tradition, I guess now. Yeah. So really, I was like, I didn't really. I mean, the most significant thing about this match was what happened after the match. So.
Yeah. So after the match, which again we thought this was a blow off, but after the match, Tony leaves the ring, goes up the ramp, and does her thing where she lays on the ground and gyrates or whatever.
Okay.
And the crowd starts to get loud. And the reason that is because Ronda Rousey enters the ring. And I talk about like something I never thought I would even have to think about, let
You
alone
had no inkling of this. There was nothing, no
like
rumors, no. I mean, let's be clear, everybody. Ronda Rousey is scheduled to face Gina Carano on
Carano.
Netflix. Yeah,
Carano.
sorry, Carano on Netflix on, I don't even remember the date at this point. What was it? Like
It's
sometime
in
in
May.
May. So
Yeah.
it's one of those Netflix presents, MMA, and it's like two people that probably hadn't had a fight in a while, right?
So
Um,
Gina has not had a fight since 2009,
okay.
and Ronda has not had a fight since 2016.
Right, like a real fight. We're not talking about wrestling for
MMA.
people. Yeah, MMA, like an actual bare knuckle fighting. Ronda has wrestled, so she knows how to work wrestling matches. I mean, for some people who may be surprised, she was actually on ROH a couple of times.
Yeah,
And
and
that was it.
she worked Wrestle Revolver
Mm-hmm.
once,
Right, but
teaming
nobody
with
was.
Marina.
Yeah, right. So there was some history there, but nobody was expecting Ronda Rousey to show up, especially when they already did the sequence when the winner has up the ramp, and you'd expect like we're gonna go back to the commentary team, they're gonna transition to the next segment. No, Tony starts storming back to the ring like this,
Yeah,
confronts Ronda Rousey.
every
Nothing. Yeah,
official gets in the ring to separate them,
there were so many officials. I was like, this is
and
way more officials
Tony
than.
Tony ends up on the top rope, and while
Mhm.
she's on the top rope being held back, Marina pops up on the apron and just punches her in the face. And then Ronda Rousey laughed, and then they left together, and then they each gave John Moxley a slap in the face.
Okay.
Then it was announced that Tony and Marina were going to face each other again on Dynamite. And that match did not happen because Tony was attacked. And
And by the way, the match was supposed to be a like no holds barred match, basically.
yes, and Mina Shirakawa takes her place. Now, I love Mina Shirakawa. I think she's great. She has not won like any singles matches in like what seems like a year and a half.
Well, that streak is broken because she won this one
She won this match
against Marina,
against Marina Shafir.
who is like a former MMA fighter by training in a no holds barred match, which is supposed to be her specialty.
But just like I understand that like if Tony and her were supposed to have the blow off here,
Mm-hmm.
even though they did that Ronda Rousey thing,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't seem like it matters now. But why would Mina win this match? Why?
I was kind of shocked when I saw her go over. I was like, oh. I'm like, okay, that
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
and obviously Marina was the first suspect of Tony's attack, and there was a social media
Mm-hmm.
has out like a graphic of Tony being laid out, and there's all these clues of who it
Yeah,
possibly
well,
could
like
be.
just a bunch of Easter eggs as to like, oh, who could
Yeah.
have done this? So you
Um,
had like Hikaru Shida's kendo stick, Megan Bain's chair, Penelope Ford's mallet, and then I think Mercedes Monet
a neon
M, a
M.
neon M.
Yeah.
There was also Tony's tattoo of the smiley face on her arm was crossed out. So so there was a lot of things that were like indicators. So on the side, it seems that Tony has been dealing with a number of undisclosed injuries or injury, and
Yeah.
is apparently going to be off.
Legitimately hurt.
Yeah, so she's
And
gone she's gonna be gone for
supposedly she's going to be taking the rest of the year off.
Yeah, and we just pretty much started the year.
So why? I mean, I obviously I don't know if Tony was hurt before the Ronda spot.
Yeah.
If she was hurt before the Ronda spot, why do the Ronda spot? But we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know if maybe she got hurt when she fell from that Marina punch. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea.
We have no idea. It's just like one of those things where they're like, I know you love this company, Mike, since it started in 2019, but lately, sometimes it will make some really weird decisions. I guess.
Oh yeah, no, I don't
Ronda Rousey.
I don't need Ronda Rousey in this company, and this.
I mean, notwithstanding your feelings towards her, as we mentioned earlier, it's like, okay, she's gonna be on Netflix, which is one of the main service providers for AEW's primary competition. Why are you bringing her into your space?
And I've never disliked Ronda Rousey as a person. It was very obvious at the end of her WWE run that she did not care. That was very clear. And she tried to speak with TKO about coming back to fight, and apparently that didn't work out. And that's why she's doing what she's doing. But we spoke about the Ricochet thing. She has said a lot worse things than Ricochet. She said that Sandy Hook was not real and didn't apologize for that for 11 years. That is a lot worse than what Ricochet said. A lot worse. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to get mad about Ricochet, you should be mad about Ronda.
Especially when AEW's done an event called Fight for the Fallen with funds going to victims of gun violence.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. So, again, if she was coming in to work with Tony, obviously that's out the window now. So was that a waste of time? Is she going to work with Mina now? And obviously we don't know the Tony who done
the Tony thing, who attacked Tony. It can turn into like I actually like the way, now that you pointed out that Easter egg post, the way they could spin this. It'd be like, it's really aligned the way Tony Storm's character is. Who attacked Tony Storm? Like, it's gonna be turned into a whole Murder on the Orient Express murder mystery,
like a Casablanca.
No. Murder on the Orient Express was a movie where
I know.
The movie. But it's like gonna be a whole like detective thing, or it's like the Knives Out series, right? Like it's like Benoit Blanc trying to figure out who did the deed, right?
Yeah. But I have a feeling.
I
have a feeling that everybody that was hinted at in the clues or whatever, it's not gonna be any of those people.
It's just gonna go back to the tried and true playbook. It's always the one closest to you.
Mina.
Right. Who by the way, won that, winning that match might have been like maybe just icing on the cake, but it's like, I don't know. It's just a confusing way to end it. Tony and Marina spent months feuding with each other. Kind of just ends with like Tony laid out, Marina losing this match. So it's like you mentioned, Marina hasn't won a major match for months. So it's like, what is her like? I mean, I guess she only thinks she's good for unfortunately, is being Jon Moxley's enforcer. I guess.
All right, so we'll see what happens down the line with Marina, I guess.
Speaking of Jon Moxley.
Speaking of Jon Moxley, who, as he was making his entrance, Marina and Ronda passed him as he was coming to the ring, because it's a continental match, so nobody can be at ringside anyway. Marina usually slaps Jon Moxley during his entrance before his matches. In this case, Ronda got in on on the slapping.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings us to a no time limit Continental Championship match. Now, when you have a draw, of course, TV Continental matches are 20 minutes, and you have a draw, and you say it's going to be no time limit. That usually justifies this match going almost an hour. But that didn't happen. This match was like 28 minutes or something. But regardless of that, this match ruled. And I was very surprised about who won the match. However, the thing that happened after kind of makes sense as to why. But yeah, this match was great. It was back and forth. It was hard hitting. It was everything that you want from like a
Yeah, I think this was the
slugfest.
first time I've seen Takeshita busted open,
Yeah,
getting some color.
yeah, and I think he actually got busted hard way. I think he like hit himself, like got hit
Oh,
somewhere pretty hard, and actually just I don't know if he was supposed to bleed, but I don't know that, but yeah, this match was great, and there was multiple like just trading of big suplexes by both guys, and you know they built up to like this match started off like pretty slow just with like strikes and stuff, and it just started to pick up from there. And yeah, this match absolutely ruled, and Moxley would pick up the victory after, again, we talked about the finisher kick out thing that is pretty regular in wrestling now. um Takeshita kicked out of the standard paradigm shift or Death Rider, and Moxley won this match by hitting an avalanche Death Rider. So we had two we had two avalanche finishes in the first
mm.
three matches, which is fine. Um, but yeah, this match absolutely ruled. And again, I was very surprised that Takeshita lost because I was certain that we were building to Takeshita and Okada again, so we can finally put that unified title business to rest, and we can retire one of these belts.
Oh, now that you mention it, I almost forgot about that. Yeah,
I was
it was
certain that's
like,
where we
yeah,
were going,
right,
because
right.
like what? Why do we need all these belts? There's so many.
Yeah, like, if they were gonna go through another path, like I would just like, I mean, yeah, the Continental title, international title should be put together. Like, I could argue, like, do you even need the TNT title? Like, you got the national title. You wanted to like
Yeah,
boost the profile of that. Like, shouldn't there be a unification match for those two titles? But it's like,
yeah,
it's like this is a belt for everybody. Yeah, yeah. Here's a
yeah,
participation trophy. Blah blah blah.
yeah. So after this match, Moxley and Takeshita show respect for each other. Takeshita leaves up the ramp, and Moxley goes to leave out the crowd like he
Mm-hmm.
entered. And then the lights go out,
Mm.
and we get a video on the screen that's very reminiscent of a Wolverine or a Goku, where
Right, right.
somebody,
It's like some medical facility. A doctor is like
yeah,
looking at some knobs and stats and
yes,
some some charts of like a human body, like
and there's like
recuperating.
a water chamber, and
Right.
very reminiscent of like I said, like a Wolverine or a Goku type thing.
Yeah.
And it's Will Osprey.
Yep.
Will Osprey is back, and obviously this had been reported that he would be back at some point. He's been gone for 6 months after neck surgery, and doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. Um, but yeah, he comes out after this and attacks all of the Death Riders, and Obviously, he wants to get his revenge on Jon Moxley for what happened at All In. Now, the problem that I have here, I get the story and I'm fine with that. The problem that I have here is that this doesn't make that much sense when you think about how Jon Moxley has basically been working like a babyface for the last 3 months.
So I can speak on that. You're right. It seems that Moxley has turned a new leaf, especially at the conclusion of World's End when he gave that impassioned promo and seemingly just sort of looked like he was about to turn babyface and the rest of the group was going to attack him. But yeah, so I think Excalibur said something like Moxley may have turned over a new leaf, but sometimes the sins of your past will still catch up to you, and
Mm-hmm.
that's one of them. You
Yeah.
almost ended this kid's career.
Yeah.
Just because you're a baby face doesn't mean like he's gonna forget about that. It's human nature. It's like 101.
So now, with that said, I imagine we're gonna get this match at Dynasty. However, we all know, I think, at this point, Will Ospreay is going to be the world champion at All In. I think that is set in stone. I don't know if so. He shouldn't be winning the Continental title if that's the case, because if Dynasty is in April, we're building to All In, which is in August. That's 4 months away. We're gonna have the Owen Hart, and most likely he is going to win. And I guess face MJF again, which is fine. However, he shouldn't be challenging for other titles if that's the plan.
What if Will just says this isn't about the title, this is just about my revenge?
I mean, I'd be fine
It
with
could
that.
be a case. Does
I
Mox have to defend this title? I'm sure Mox would not mind defending the title. He's a fighting champion now and all. But it's like maybe they can spin it in a way that says this is more about this Continental belt. I don't want Will to say I don't care about this Continental belt because he does care about championships. It's just that this is beyond.
and you
And
can't
I
even
agree with you.
say
And I agree with you. And I agree with you. Yeah, I'm pretty much sure based on the way like the main event of this show ended, eventually we're gonna see Will Ospreay as the world champion down the road. I don't know when, but it's All In London seems like the most plausible time to do it. But I think that he came back to do. There's like two things I see on Will Ospreay's calendar, 2026: getting revenge on Mox / Death Riders, whatever. If that gets prolonged a little bit, okay, they may try to like figure it out without prolonging it too much, and then move on to the world title picture, which would include probably winning the Owen Hart Cup.
yeah. So we'll see. And you can't even say that like Will Ospreay could cause Jon Moxley to lose the Continental title because there's no interference allowed in Continental title matches. So that even is a bigger argument as to why Takeshita could have won here. So you could have this match and not have to worry about defending a title. But yeah. So we'll see what happens with Jon Moxley and Will Ospreay going forward. Will Ospreay is officially back. He had his first match back against Blake Christian on Dynamite. Very fun match. And yeah, Will Ospreay is off and running again, which I'm very happy about.
Yep. He's selling the neck thing a lot, which feeds into the whole thing that
you know.
Didn't somebody write something about how he said he was going to have to learn a different style when he came back, and then first thing he does is dive off the top rope?
There's conflicting reports because I heard from one source that he said he's not changing his style at all, and another source said what you said. So who knows? I imagine he's not going to be able to do the Stormbreaker as often as he would like with a history of neck problems.
Yeah.
But he could still do the Hidden Blade, so that's fine. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So the next match on the card was the women's tag team title match. So of course, we spoke earlier on this, and they showed backstage Willow getting checked by the doctor, and she said she was good to go. And obviously, she was playing up the injuries big time from the post match attack from the TBS title match. And this match was kind of eh, because the fact that Willow was selling the injuries. It wasn't going to be a barn burner. Harley tried her best, but like just the fact that Willow was just too hurt in story to have this match. This match was the shortest match on the entire show. And only 5 minutes, like on the dot.
Oh wow, you're right.
And
I guess you're right. It was like I remember the ending. It was like, oh yeah, I didn't. Oh yeah, it just ended, and then I had to like toggle backwards a bit just to like wait. The ending is it's over. I'm like, oh okay.
yeah,
But now
so
that I read the
obviously,
timestamp, wow, it's only 5 minutes.
yeah, so obviously this was hubris on Willow Nightingale's part. She made the call to defend both belts against
Mm,
to face Lena twice and Megan Bain, and obviously now she's going to be 100% focused on the TBS title.
yeah.
And I mean,
Maybe
we could,
Harley can do that thing where you suggested she should team up with the Inspiration since
yes,
they all since Harley sings their actual theme song. I'm glad Megan Bain finally won a title in AEW. She's
agreed.
had two previous different partners.
Mm-hmm.
One keeps getting injured. The other keeps not really winning matches.
Yeah,
And so it was a little baffling to me when this Lena Cross came out, and I'm like, who is Lena Cross? Frankly, when I saw the word cross on the big screen, I was like, wait, what? I was like, oh wait, no, this is somebody else. But it was like,
yeah.
okay, I'm glad they found, and they even like put together a nice name for them, the Divine Dominion. So it was like,
Well, it's better than calling them like like mega power or something, you know.
yeah, there was like mega problems, and then it was like with Penelope, it was like mega bad because
Yeah.
because Penelope's a bad girl, and so it was like, what the heck was gonna be Mega Cross? Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's fine. Divine Dominion is fine, I guess. But yeah, I imagine that Willow will 100% focus on TBS now. And Harley will have to figure it out. But yeah, because there's other tag teams, and
Yeah, the Brawling Birds,
oh
Sisters of
yeah,
Sin.
so that's interesting, right? Like the Brawling Birds are great, but you can't hold off them challenging for the tag titles until All In.
Yeah,
Just, I mean, obviously
I
they're
would
both
rather have them have the belts before and go into All and defend it
agreed.
in a
Agreed.
four-way match or some weird, crazy thing like that, because that kind
Yeah,
of fits their.
considering and obviously like freaking Jamie Hayter has not been able to wrestle on any of the British All Ins.
oh,
Like
oh, yeah,
like as long as she's healthy and like this team is killing it, which they are. Um, yeah, they should be the team to beat Divine Dominion and go into London as the champions. And yeah, well, hopefully they'll have some kind of big match for them on that show. But that's got to be where this is going. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens with everybody here. The next match was a match that I enjoyed very much. It was Swerve Strickland taking on Brody King. Now, I think originally this was supposed to be Swerve versus Kenny, but Kenny had some prior commitments. So he wasn't going to be ready to wrestle on this show. He
mm,
um but I enjoyed the storyline that they chose to go with here. Swerve has been calling himself the most dangerous man in AEW from the beginning, and Kenny Omega said that he isn't and that Brody King is. And that was basically the catalyst for the feud. They wanted to prove who the most dangerous man in AEW is, and I think that's fine. Um, but yeah, you had a lot of brawling in this match, a lot of Brody overpowering Swerve, which is not shocking, but the fact like Swerve is not small. Like, I mean, he used to be a lot smaller than he is now, but like Swerve is actually a pretty big dude. Obviously, in comparison to Brody, he's not, you know, a giant or anything. But I thought this match was pretty even because of that. And of course, Swerve has the speed on his side compared to Brody. But yeah, there was a lot of great back and forth here. A lot of just the again, they were fighting on the outside. They exposed the cement floors. Um, and Swerve hit a vertebraker on the exposed cement on the outside, which had to hurt. Um, but yeah, I thought this match was a lot of fun. Um, Brody also hit a boss man slam on that exposed cement floor. A sidewalk slam onto the steel steps. That looked like it hurt. But yeah, a lot of great back and forth here, and Swerve would get the win. And after the match, he brought back the cinder block.
Yeah, an old favorite. Brody snapped that chain a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So Swerve needed something different, and yeah, I found old faithful, aka cinder block.
So when this happened, I think everybody's first thought was not Kenny Omega. It was Keith Lee.
Exactly right.
And obviously, we haven't seen Keith Lee in 2 years.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of medical stuff happen, and apparently he's good to go, and he's just sitting at home. And I mean, this would have been a great time to bring him back. And I think if Keith Lee comes back in the coming months, he should team with Swerve again. He should go heel right away.
That's what I'm thinking too.
And team with him. And they don't have to be a tag team, but they should be like Swerve should start a new Mogul Embassy with all black wrestlers.
Yeah. So some candidates that kind of been popping up around socials was besides Keith, Private Party, Kevin Knight. I think you can take Kevin Knight off the board, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
I don't know. AR Fox is there. Like, he's not doing anything. Yeah. They have history.
I mean, I've even heard people say, obviously he's not black, but I've heard people say that Tommaso Ciampa should be involved. Which is
why not? He's a bad guy too. It's like,
yeah. But yeah, if Keith does come back in the coming weeks, put him back with Swerve. It's been long enough that we don't need to see that match now.
Yeah, it's like nobody cares anymore.
Yeah. So bring Keith Lee back, put him with Swerve, establish his dominance right away after being gone for so long. But yes, it was not Keith Lee. It was Kenny Omega, who traveled back from Japan just to make this appearance.
Yeah, because what was he doing in Japan? Did he have a show? Or was it like some other thing?
It was like a video game thing.
Oh, okay, so he took a 13-14 hour flight just to be here. But here's the thing: Los Angeles is way closer to Japan than it would be to on the East Coast of the United States.
Yes, of course.
For example, so not that far.
Yeah, that's why everybody when you go.
That's why it worked out.
That's why they tell people like if you're going to Japan to fly out of California because it's easier ride. Or
yeah.
So then on Dynamite, Kenny did a recorded promo that he recorded at Revolution to be played on Dynamite, um, where apparently Swerve is now the number one contender for the world title.
So when did that happen? Is it because by default, which we'll discuss later, the results of the main event?
Apparently Swerve didn't even know that. So
oh man, like I was so confused about that when I heard that. I was like, wait, did he win a number one contenders match? I don't remember that.
Well, they never said that this match was number one contender. I guess they just decided in lieu of everything that happened later. It's like, all right, Swerve's the number one contender now. But Kenny says that he wants a match with Swerve, and he wants Swerve to put that number one contender's spot on the line.
Of course he does. Yep.
And so Swerve's response is he wants power. And the title doesn't always bring power, but what does bring power is to be an executive vice president of the entire company. Even though he already had a match at All In where he explicitly said after winning that match that he did not want that.
Well, things change, Mike. People change. And it seems that Swerve decided in order to be successful, he needs the power.
Yes. So keep in mind, the fact that Kenny Omega is an executive vice president in real life and in kayfabe has never been executed in any way, shape, or form on screen.
Yeah. It was. He completely forgot that it was actually Matt and Nick that did that bit to varying degrees of success. But it's like Kenny's never. It's like, Kenny's the guy who plays video games and is into Japanese culture, Japanese stuff, and he's like, fucking around. He's not gonna be the guy in a suit like giving orders. It's just not him. But Swerve is that kind of person, and I can actually imagine if should Swerve. So what you're gonna say? They're gonna have a match on Dynamite next week.
Yeah.
If Kenny wins, he gets to be number one contender. If Swerve wins, not only does he stay number one contender, he gets to be the EVP. So it's like, I can imagine Swerve with power and see how he.
What's even funnier about this, right, is like, I don't remember where next week's Dynamite is, but the Dynamite after is in Winnipeg, which is where Kenny is from.
Yeah.
And obviously they're not going to have that match there because then they would only have 1 week to build to the pay-per-view.
Right.
So I don't think that you're going to have this match the week before going to Winnipeg if Kenny's going to lose. So I think Kenny is going to win.
Oh.
And Kenny will face MJF at Dynasty. And Swerve will do something else. Okay. And no, I just think it's the right move because I don't think it's the right time to do Swerve versus MJF in a singles, especially since you're establishing Swerve as a big heel.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have a problem with heel versus heel matches, but it just on paper doesn't look like it works right now to have Swerve versus MJF. So that's why I think Kenny is going to win this match, so we can.
So next week's Dynamite, this match, number one contender versus EVP, is going to be in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yep. Yeah, and then the following week is in Winnipeg. So just for that reason alone, I think Kenny is going to win because it's like the perfect place for him and MJF to have their first real confrontation. It just seems to line up. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure Kenny versus Swerve is going to be great because their first match was amazing. And we'll hopefully, there's no interference in that match. of any kind.
I don't know. You keep saying there's they should put together a new mogul embassy, and well,
Yes.
that kind of thing is ripe for shenanigans all around, man. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't need a whole bunch of guys and them coming in as a group. If you're gonna build a group, you start with the first person I want to put back together with, and whether
Mm-hmm.
it's Keith Lee, whether it's somebody else, I don't know.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. All right. The next match on the show was the 2 out of 3 falls match for the women's championship. Tekla defending against Chris Statlander. So I assume like this was Chris Statlander's final shot. Um, Tekla, of course, defended it against Thunder Rosa, and that match was fine. But yeah, they decided to have a 2 out of 3 falls match here, and of course, the first fall was like a sneak roll up pin. They always say this is how all these matches tend to go, where the first fall is always like very quick, or at least like within the first 5 minutes. And then the second fall takes a little longer and it requires somebody to hit a finisher. And then the third fall is like a lot of back and forth and a lot of trading of moves, and whoever makes a mistake loses the match. So that's kind of basically what happened here. First fall, Tekla wins, quick roll up. Chris Statlander wins the second fall after hitting the Saturday Night Fever. See, I don't know why they don't just call it the Saturday Night Fever instead of changing the name for whatever day it takes place.
Exactly, because when you said Saturday, I think they called it the Sunday Night Fever for that show.
Yeah, just call it the Saturday Night Fever. It just makes
Okay.
sense.
Well,
But
here's hoping someone hears you and takes
yeah.
that suggestion.
So then we go to the third fall. Now, keep in mind, this is not like WWE's 3 stages of hell where there's a different stipulation for each fall. Yeah. This was 3 standard singles matches. And at one point, there's a referee bump. And Tekla takes the referee's belt and is going to use it to whip Statlander like she has done numerous times at this point. And then Stat gets the belt back, but she takes too long to use it. And then the ref recovers and is like, "What the hell are you doing? Why do you have my belt?" And that results in a distraction that causes Tekla to hit a spear and then 2 stomps and then win. So Chris is stupid.
Yeah, you mentioned stuff like this before. When we'll use another company's example, the Cody versus Drew steel cage match, when Jacob jumps in and starts wailing on Drew, you said rather than trying to win the title, Cody also attacks Jacob or whatever.
Yeah,
gets involved in that melee and costs himself the title.
Yeah, and then he blamed Jacob, which is the stupidest thing you could have done.
So yeah, so for this part, this does sound pretty stupid. I just kind of blanked out, couldn't remember how this ended. I just remembered that Tekla won the final fall. I just couldn't remember the sequence that led up to that. But yeah, you're right. The belt did come into play. Like when you have a belt in your hand, like use it. Don't like just hold on to it and wait till the referee wakes up. I'm trying to remember if they actually did the stupid thing that I really hate, where they know the referee was knocked out by something, and they still try to go for a cover even though there's nobody around.
Oh yeah, Chris did that. They counted to like 12.
Okay, I don't know why in those matches everybody does that. Almost everybody.
Everybody.
Almost everybody. Once in a while, I'll see somebody be smart and just figure out, okay, the ref is down. I need to get him either wake his ass up or do something else.
Yeah, I just don't like
how majority of the time it's just like they go a bit. Oh, by the way, referee's outside the ring, you idiot.
Yeah, I just don't like how they make Chris look like an idiot here.
Right after she's been a dominant champion with a pretty solid run, so
Yeah. And the match as a whole was fine. It was nothing to write home about. It's not like the best match I've ever seen, but it was fine for what it was. It did its job, and Tekla's been killing it character wise and wrestling wise, and Chris has also been killing it. But yeah, so now it's time for Chris to move on. And who's next for Tekla? No idea. Right now, we no inkling of that at all. Maybe we'll get something on Collision. But yeah, I mean, we're still waiting for Sheeta to come back. Haven't seen Nyla Rose in a long time. I mean, we talked about this. They got to rotate, especially now that Tony's gone for the foreseeable future. Rotate in some new people, or some people we haven't seen in a long time. Like, this is the perfect opportunity to do that. The biggest star in your division is going to be gone for the rest of the year. Do something. So we'll see. But yeah, and yeah, Chris, we'll see what's next for her. But yeah, I assume that this is just the end of her feud with Tekla now. So yeah, the next match is the Trios Championship match. Now, Alan, if I were to say to you, do you think that it makes sense for the team of Okada, Kyle Fletcher, and Mark Davis to win the titles 5 days ago and then lose them? Do you think that would be a good idea?
No. On paper, no. It doesn't matter what team is context of which team, right? It's like if you won the title just like 5 days ago. So officially on record, they held it for 11 days, but I get your point.
Yes, I that's just the number that came to my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, and of course we had champions challenging other champions and then winning. We had because Bailey and Knight were like, oh, we'll challenge the Don Callis family whenever we want. Whenever they want, whatever. And Don Callis was like, great, let's do that now. After after Kevin Knight had a title match with MJF on the same show and was injured. So then the Don Callis family, who consisted of, as I mentioned, Kyle Fletcher, Kazuchika Okada, and Mark Davis, the TNT champion, the international champion who has not defended his belt since September, and Mark Davis win the Trios Championship from Hangman and Jet Speed. Then they just decide that they needed to get a Trios title match on this show, which I could argue could have just been the main event of the following Dynamite. So they give Jet Speed another shot with Mystico as their tag team partner, which is fine, but they didn't really do anything to deserve another shot at the title.
Yeah, there was no build. As I looked at it, it was like, why? I mean, I don't mind. Like, Mystico is a CMLL star, but it's like, why Mystico? You literally just held these titles with Hangman. I understand Hangman's unavailability, but it's like, shouldn't you like figure out maybe who really? But in a sense, it's Mystico, so it's like, it's probably like fanboying, and it's like, oh wow, I'm gonna team with a legend, right?
So this match was great. It was a lot of fun, and Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight came out with similar masks to Mystico's mask.
Yes.
Which they had to remove because they could not see.
Yes. It was like, I was commenting to you, could you even see out of that thing?
Yeah, they had to take those.
It was just like, I was like.
Yeah. But yeah, this match was a lot of fun, and the team of Mystico and Jet Speed win the match.
Yes.
And the reason that is because Mystico just like Hechicero and Persephone before him, are now dual contracted to CMLL and AEW. And he needed to win this match to make that announcement for some reason.
Why?
I don't know.
See, I thought it would. Now that I'm thinking about this, it's the gears are spinning in my head here. Don Callis family retains the titles. They have a bit of a dejected moment in the ring. It's kind of sad. And then I guess like while they're like just kind of on their knees, Mike or Kevin looks up at the screen and they're like, Mystical, look. And then they look up and it's like the graphic. And it's like, oh, look, you got some good news out of this after all. You got signed.
Yeah.
Dude, you didn't need to win the titles for that, did you?
I mean,
because right now, here's the thing: Mystico is not only a trio champion in AEW, he's a trio champion in CMLL, and he's also the CMLL light heavyweight champion. So it's like the guy's got 3 titles on him. So I mean, it's normal.
But at the same time, even though I don't agree with this, Kyle Fletcher and Okada did not need the trios titles at all.
Right. Hey, Okada, you got this shiny thing you're still wearing called the international title. Did you forget about this?
Yeah, he hasn't defended it since All Out.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So yeah, Mystico and Jet Speed are now the trios champs, and Okada would team with Rocky Romero and Mark Davis on Dynamite. No, who did they team with on Dynamite?
On Dynamite,
it was Okada, Rocky, and
is it Trent? Oh, you mean in the main event?
Yeah.
Oh, it was let me think. Okada. Yeah, it was like Okada, Rocky, and then I think it was Trent.
And it wasn't Kyle.
No, it was not Kyle. Kyle wasn't there.
Why am I drawing a blank on this?
Yeah. Sorry, everyone. We don't want to give dead air here. We're just trying to figure it out ourselves. Dynamite. The Dynamite results. It's like, okay, no, that's the one. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, okay. Jack and the Young Bucks took on Okada. Oh, for God's sake. Did you just say it was RPG fight, so it was Trent.
Okay, so it was Trent. What? Yeah. I don't remember Trent being in that match at all.
Well, that just goes to show you that where Trent's, where he is in the pecking order of things. Like, he's just
But yeah, so Okada needs to start defending that international title. He's still talking shit about Takeshita. So I guess we're still doing that.
Yeah, you know what would have made that storyline a little more substantive if Takeshita became the Continental Champion, and then at some point the tensions would be so bad that it was like, okay, only one of you could be the the main champion here in the family. So
yeah,
but
so yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, there's a lot of trios now in the AEW, so I mean, we're gonna see some great matches. I think with Mystico and Jet Speed. I want to see them face the Rascals.
Yeah, if you can't like book a good trios division with like these 3 as the champions, then what the hell are you doing?
One thing that I do want very specifically is for not another champion to challenge for these belts. So we'll see what happens. All right. The next match on the card was probably the second best match on the entire show, in my opinion. It's neck and neck between Takeshita and Moxley in this match for second best match on the show for me. But it's Bandito taking on Andrade. And as expected, this match was amazing. So both of these guys did the ripped pants off spot, but Bandito had a little trouble getting his off. And while he was having trouble, Andrade took it upon himself to hit him in the face with a knee, which was very funny. Andrade once again did the thing where he went outside the ring and flirted with a woman. He revealed his tights underneath his pants, and they were very small. But yes, so much great action in this match. Both of these guys, just Andrade is on the run of his life right now. Bandito obviously been killing it, regardless of who he is facing. Very notably, this was not for the ROH World Title, probably because Andrade was winning and they didn't want to put that belt on him. But yeah, this match ruled. I absolutely loved it. My favorite spot of the match was when Bandito went to do the 21 plex while Andrade was on the ground. He basically did a deadlift 21 plex.
Wow.
It was amazing. And Andrade would win this match by hitting the DM from the middle rope. If you're keeping track, that is our third avalanche finisher for the win on this show. But yeah, very good match. Loved it. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was good. And it's like one of those situations where it was like Bandito grew up kind of watching Andrade, and he gets to face the guy.
Yep.
So yeah, I would say this Andrade presentation is way better than some of the previous runs he had before. I guess his first AEW run, and then whatever they tried to do with him in WWE when he went back. This definitely works for him. Yeah, I guess getting divorced has its advantages, obviously. I guess what was more interesting is now that, Andrade beat Bandito in this stellar match. He has made it known that he was interested in the AEW World Title. Apparently now that's off the table because there's a suitcase of a shit ton of money that Don Callis accepted from MJF. Whoops, sorry, I may have given stuff away, but nevertheless, Andrade reluctantly took this money on behalf of Don on Dynamite, and now it seems that Andrade is no longer in contention for the world title because now he's probably $1 million richer or something like
that. Yeah. So I guess we'll see what's next for these guys.
Yeah, there's a lot of things up in the air that this show hasn't really put a path on.
And Dynamite
guessing.
And Dynamite didn't really answer anything.
No, it was one of those filler Dynamites after a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
they just needed something in between.
Yeah, it wasn't the best Dynamite this past week, which is right. They can't all be bangers.
Yeah, of course.
But, all right. Now we're on to the next match with the probably the most questionable winner.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a trios match, a tornado trios match.
Yep.
The team of Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, and Roderick Strong taking on the Dogs. Gabe Kidd, Clark Connors, and David Finlay. So David Finlay had a hell of a press run recently. He did some interviews talking shit about his dad.
Oh my, yes.
And he basically said that the best thing to ever happen to his dad was the fact that he was born. Because his dad never won a world title. Um, and yeah, I love the dogs as a group. I mean, I've always liked them. They've always been very good in New Japan as well, and that's why I'm very confused as to why they lost this match.
Yeah, they're this hot team. They came in strong, right? They're it's we all know they're the bullet. They were formerly of the Bullet Club.
Yep.
You got David Finley, that's hot signing. Rumored was that he was going to actually go to WWE. Good thing he didn't do that, I guess. He said he had made more money with the Connors and Gabe than he did with his family.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Um, so and they lost this match. No, I mean overall the whole thing was really entertaining. Like these guys were just
Yeah.
doing crazy stuff all over the place.
Yeah,
I
it was
thought the
great.
ending was funny. I thought the ending was just funny, even though like you talk about how I was like, I don't think like Orange Darby and freaking Roddy needed to win this match, right? So it's like,
I also don't think this match needed to be on this show.
oh, really? Okay.
It could have been on Dynamite.
It was interesting to see like two major trios matches on a pay per view because usually
Yeah.
like you just do one, right? And it's the championship title match. But
Um,
then they added this one too.
but yeah, I mean, everybody in this match, of course, is great. Um, Orange Cassidy, great. Darby is so I like Darby. I like Darby a lot. Everything he's been doing lately is not something a babyface does. Like,
You mean like with the flamethrower and like locking people in coffins and trying
yeah,
to? Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about this as we move on to the subsequent Dynamite. But yeah, it's yeah, you think you'd like be a little more of an inspirational story having climbed Mount Everest of all places and then coming
yeah,
back and saying, if Mount Everest couldn't kill me, what makes you think you can, right?
yeah,
But maybe it's all this interaction with Gabe Kidd recently that has
yeah,
really like, because Gabe Kidd is a violent person, and the man is, I think he's legitimately is just like a bit off the rocker, because it's like if you
yeah,
watch that post Revolution press conference, it was like, is that what that guy's like all the time? Because it's like, oh man.
yep. So, the dogs would lose this match because
Yeah.
um, Darby and Gabe were fighting on the ramp, and Gabe would fall off the ramp,
Mm-hmm.
and Darby would jump off the ramp and hit him in the back while he was on a skateboard. And then he zip tied Gabe to the ramp.
What's interesting is that we never saw that happen. And it just
Yeah,
suddenly they pan back the camera and Gabe's not moving, and you just realize Darby tied his wrist to the to the
yeah,
structure, so he
yes,
can't move, and then so it effectively turned into a handicap match.
yes.
I
So
really
then
don't remember the ending or anything. I
I'm
I think I remember Roddy hitting End of Heartache on
I'm
Connors, and that's
pretty
on it.
sure Clark Connors just took everybody's finisher,
Right.
and then they just won. So after the match, after the show,
Mm-hmm.
at the presser,
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned, Gabe Kidd would storm the presser and basically just challenge Darby to another match. And it was a coffin match on Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
So this match starts in the parking lot.
Yes.
Darby tries to hit Gabe with a car. Gabe,
Okay. Yeah. He tries to hit Gabe with a car. They start brawling, and at one point, Darby, I think he chloroformed
yeah,
Gabe.
yeah, he did something.
Yeah,
He had
he's
some
some
kind
kind
of
of liquid
he had some kind of rag with like a
rag.
liquid on it, and
Yeah.
Gabe started to like pass out. So he throws Gabe into the trunk of this car,
Yes.
and he just jumps over a median and flips the car.
But let's clear this up. Darby was driving the car
Yes,
that he flipped over this median, which then flipped upside down and crashed. So
yes.
Darby,
And so Darby just crawls out, and after like a minute or two, the trunk just opens while Gabe is in there, and he
I
just
thought that was really
plops.
funny. He just
That was
flopped out
hilarious.
of the car.
He just flopped out of the car onto the ground. And because Gabe is so much bigger than Darby, Darby used a
One of those backstage
production
um,
cases
production cases with wheels on it.
and put Gabe on it and just rolled him to the ring. And there was a coffin just sitting there, a very unsturdy wooden coffin. I was hoping that somebody was going to pop out of this thing. That did not happen. There was zero interference in this match.
Right.
There was no sign of Clark, no sign of David.
No Orange, no Roddy, no conglomeration.
No nothing. So,
right. But that's what Gabe wanted. He yelled at Tony. Yeah. I don't want Clark. I don't want Connors. I don't want Finley there. I don't want those other two there.
So Darby,
me and him, we got to end this.
The babyface, Darby Allin, puts the heel in a straitjacket. And he doesn't tie the straitjacket. He's just wearing it for the remainder of the match. Eventually, he does tie it. But Gabe is just... It's basically dead. Like, he could barely move because
he got chloroformed, thrown in the back of a trunk of a car, was in the car when it went flying and crashed headfirst into flipping upside down. So, I'm surprised he was still moving at that point.
Yeah. So Darby is just beating the shit out of Gabe with everything while he's wearing this straitjacket. Then he eventually ties the straitjacket, and that's when Gabe chose to have some offense, when he had no arms.
See, I think this is sort of like, because Darby is so used to doing this stuff. Darby's always the one who's getting his like handcuffed or like zip tied or put in a straitjacket, and he's had to do drop kicks and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, why don't we do something different? Why don't I take the offensive, and then you be the one that's getting like tied down? So it's like, because they've been doing this back and forth a lot, right? So it's like,
So Darby just wins.
Well, I like the ending. So what happened was the coffin was lying horizontal, perpendicular to the ring. Darby turns it around so it's like vertical, so it's almost like it's vertical.
Yeah.
And then at one point, it's like the finish was Gabe's on the ring apron. Darby goes for his like crazy dive. He does that, and then Gabe goes flying into the coffin, and the lid just drops shut. And that was it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, that's the best ending of this kind of match I've seen yet from. And Darby's been in all the coffin matches. So it's kind of, that was kind of a,
so,
the bar was.
So after the match, Darby gets on the mic and says, they're either going to have to kill me or make me the world champion.
Oh boy.
And he declares that he is coming for MJF again.
Okay.
And who knows when that's going to happen, because he's going to be facing either Swerve or Kenny at Dynasty. And then I can't imagine what he's going to be doing at Double or Nothing. That's way too out of the way. I'm hopeful that I get to go to Double or Nothing. It's in Queens this year, but So I guess this feud is over. Hey, the dogs are a trio. The trio's champions are baby faces. So
this is a good rebound. You want to try to recover from this debacle of a match? And then that debacle of a coffin match. It's like, okay, you're supposed to be this badass team, and you've lost 2 major matches. So
and now the thing that I predicted in every single one of our Forbidden Door preview fantasy booking things is more likely to happen now because you got the War Dogs or the Dogs and
The Bang Bang
the
Gang.
Bang Bang Gang on
Yeah.
the same show.
It took how long? A couple of years before it actually
well,
happened.
now
But
it's
yeah.
not New Japan
Yep,
versus
yeah, and now
AEW.
it's not like they're part of Bullet Club anymore because Bullet Club doesn't exist. So
No, it's
they're their own
just
group now.
different versions of Bullet Club.
Yeah. You got
Yeah,
what is it? House of Torture, Unbound and Co, War Dog or the Dogs,
yeah,
Bang Bang Gang. They've all kind of just splintered off on their own.
yeah. So I think that that's probably the best route for the Dogs, the trios titles. Just get them in there right away. Just hell, have them beat Jet Speed and Mystico at Dynasty.
Mm.
All right. So we have arrived at the main event. And this build was weird.
Okay.
Yes, it was going to be the blow off match of this feud between MJF and Hangman that's been going on forever. Obviously, they both took detours and did other things, and
Yep.
MJF was gone for a while. And Hangman decides that he's going to put his opportunity to face any world champion ever if he loses this match.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way that he will agree to do that is if it is Tex's death. That's his match. He's only lost it one other time. MJF, of course, didn't want to do that because MJF doesn't have those kinds of matches, even though he had a tables and tax match earlier this year that was probably more painful than anything that happened in this match. And MJF, his stipulation that he wanted to do was that it was only no DQ for him and not Hangman. So MJF tries to use a trick coin when they decide to do a coin flip to decide on what the stipulation is. And of course, they figure out that that was not real. And Tony Khan just makes it a death match. I do not like the stipulation. However, I know that there's a lot of story you can tell. And because this is just
you don't like the stipulation that if Hangman lost, he could never challenge for the world title again. Yeah. We saw this with Cody. It was just confusing. It was like literally when AEW started. I'm like,
yeah.
But in retrospect, kind of understood where, I guess, in the long term, where that was leading because Cody did become a world champion, just not here.
Yeah.
But no, we're not seeing the same situation here with Hangman. Hangman is not going to WWE, as far as I can tell.
No.
They wouldn't treat him the same way as they did Cody there. So yeah. But yeah, this match was violent.
Yeah.
MJF, for the guy who says like he doesn't do these kind of matches, he does these really well. He studies the tapes. He pays homage to Terry Funk. He wore Terry Funk's tights, basically. He did everything from like the glass to the skewers in his forehead to like barbed wire, all this shit, right? So it's like it was crazy.
There was multiple table spots. They hit a dead eye on the table,
right.
A tombstone on the table. At one point, they fought up the ramp and they fell off the stage. And
oh my god, they blew up an
like exploding table.
Right. I thought they were done. I thought it was over. I thought they were both dead. I was like, if they counted them both out, who wins? Right? So
MJF brought back the syringe spot.
Oh yeah. Ooh, that was
for some reason. So I just don't care. I understand people not liking the syringe spot. It's not for me either, but I just don't care about it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that was a little much.
However, I don't understand why it was filled with something, and MJF decided to push out whatever was in there.
Yeah, I remember when Swerve and Hangman did this, and like it was stuck through Swerve's mouth, and I don't remember them squirting anything out of the syringe. I'm like, what is in the fucking syringe? Like that stain?
Yeah.
You're like, you don't know, right? Like it could be water, but it's like,
I assume it was just water.
Okay, I
and
assume it's just water.
and they just did that for effect. But it adds nothing. It's just a visual.
Yeah, it's just like you're gonna do the ick for like a few seconds, and then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and there was at one point where Hangman brought out a window and was going to use it as a weapon,
Uh-huh.
but MJF was like, "That's not happening," and he just broke it in the
Right.
ring. So then there's just glass in the ring now.
Yeah, so stupid. Like, okay, yeah. Now instead of just one piece of glass, now it's like 100 others.
Yeah. So he did the thing that he did to Moxley at All In, where he like slammed him on it and then he dragged him in it a bunch. And then after MJF got the upper hand back, he brought a broom into the ring and cleaned the glass.
I thought that was really funny. I was like, Heyman's just lying there bleeding, and then this guy is like doing janitorial work.
Yeah. He's like, enough of this. Let's get this out of here. But yeah, I mean, this match was a lot of fun for what it was. Despite what anybody might think about a syringe spot. And yeah, MJF wins this match.
So let's talk about the ending here. What happened was he got the Dynamite Diamond ring. Hangman would look like he was about to hit another.
Oh, well, we didn't even mention the dog collar was brought out.
Oh, yeah. I was like, so there was a dog collar match in the middle of this Texas.
And when MJF saw the dog collar, he literally freaked out and he's like, not again.
Bad memories, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're playing all the old favorites.
The spot where MJF is bleeding and Hangman just puts barbed wire in his mouth and pulls it and like basically like gives him a permanent smile.
Oh yeah. But it was just like, yeah, it was crazy. And like the ending was the one that really is like the kicker. Cause I think at that point Heyman tried to do another buckshot. MJF had the stupid ring, wails Heyman and knocks him out. And I think because they were both tied up with the dog collar, Hangman goes flying over the rope and is now just hanging there. And then MJF starts using the chain to choke out Hangman, which is basically Hangman's signature way of ending this type of match that he frequently wins. And so he's knocked out cold, can't answer whatever call the referee makes, and just like that, it's over.
Yeah, he passes out from the choke, and as he falls to the ground, he hits his head on the camera.
And and then there's a spot of blood that
there's just blood all over the camera, and they made the perfect decision of not to clean it.
Yeah.
So that when they had the camera on Hangman, they there was just blood all over the camera, and then MJF, after winning the match and getting the 10 count, goes on top of the stretcher that Hangman is laying on and puts up the devil horns.
Yeah.
And
they did that shot with the blood smeared camera. It was literally just like Hangman's dead. I won. Boom. It was like the most Instagram, one of those Instagram worthy photos. It was just like, wow, there you go.
So, and we didn't talk about this really, but like, I mean, we talked about this offline. AEW tried something different today on the show with their crowd shots.
Yeah. Okay.
And
so yeah. Okay.
They did this a lot, and I hated it. I guess they had like cameras on the back of some of the seats or something. I don't know what it was, but it was just constant close-up shots of people in the crowd. And it just added nothing because most of the time people didn't even notice. And it was just, and it was happening during matches, like in every single match. I hope that they don't keep this. I really don't, because it is not good, and it seemed to be a very common sentiment on social media that nobody liked this. So I really hope they don't keep that. Because yeah, it was bad. But overall, this show was a lot of fun. And yes, there were some questionable things that happened. I'm not saying it's the best show of the year. It was certainly not a bad show, but it was very good. And it had some stellar matches on it, specifically the tag title match, the Continental title match, and the Bandito Andrade
Yeah.
match.
Just to address the whole thing about the panning the cameras to fan reactions, could be something they could work on. It seems that WWE is actually a little bit better at this because they know when they know when appropriately to pan to the fans when there is something to
Yeah.
react to. Because when you got people just like, oh, watching a show
Well,
like
it was just the fact of how close these cameras were.
yeah, like
Like,
at one point I was commenting to you offline, like, did they just show a shot of some old man like laughing? I was like, what was that all about? Right? It was just like
yeah,
all these random things. It was like, was there something to be reacting to at that point?
yeah.
But anyway, I digress from that. As for this conclusion of the match, the show. I mean, like I said at the beginning of this pod, the show is solid. Um, yeah, I mean there were a few title changes. Obviously, a lot of returns and surprise appearances. Um, they ended this match the way, in a sense, that I kind of predicted the way they had to kind of end this. Like, MJF's kept losing to Hangman, so he had to win one at least once.
Yep.
As I understand it, Hangman, also like Tony Storm, has a number of undisclosed injury stuff, or will be taking some time off, which
Hmm.
helps with this whole storyline because he can't
Yes.
challenge for the world title. So,
Yeah. So,
gives them time to think about how do we do this, right?
so
Because we
I
kind of
think,
know where Max is heading towards, right? He's probably
yeah,
looking down the road at Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, those kind of folks.
yeah.
Um, as for Hangman, this is one interesting fan theory that I read that now you said that you think next week in St. Paul, Kenny's gonna win and keep his EVP status.
Hmm.
So the idea is that if Swerve had won EVP status instead and started using that power, and then Hangman at a point where it's like he comes back, he realizes he can no longer be world champion, and he's like, "What do I do?" And by the way, Tony Khan confirmed that this was not in some written contract, so it's not like a binding contract. This was a verbal agreement based on Hangman's word.
Yep.
Now, Hangman's already kind of turned heel once, and he kind of went through a whole full circle thing and come back to like where he is now. Does he get so desperate that he wants to have another world title run that he goes to his new best friend, the EVP Swerve Strickland, and the Swerve use his EVP powers, whatever they're supposed to do, to sort of like give Heyman the chance to challenge for the world title again based on some stipulation or something, but Heyman has to do something nefarious for him. So I don't know. I remember in the beginning, like when Swerve came back, and then he and Heyman were just like a team, but basically not really. Almost they didn't really acknowledge each other in the ring. They were just standing side by side. It was like they were like a pairing, but not really. I would think if those two turned heel at some point, and then became like this like remember the two-man power trip from like 20 plus years
Hmm.
ago between Stone Cold and Triple H. If we could get something like that with those two, wow, I think they would you know, I mean, yeah, Swerve could go the route of like the more expected route, create his own mogul embassy again. But then do you like do the thing with Hangman instead and just add on to that? Because like those
So,
two as like a heel pair would be like crazy.
because, and you mentioned how Tony Khan said that this was a verbal agreement. That's not binding.
Yeah, like I said, not binding.
So they could just change that later. Like,
Right, but it has to be like the right context, right? Because it was such a
yeah,
desperate thing he did, than to just easily say, "Oh, you know what? We don't need to do that." But it's like, no, it was like a life slash career changing moment that.
yeah. I'm not saying they have to do it right away. They can. They have a chance that when Hangman comes back to do
And
something
yeah,
new.
and I think that when they do that and Heyman gets a shot, it's not gonna be against Max. It's gonna be
No,
probably against Will Ospreay. And
yeah,
I think it would have to be that Heyman has to be the heel in that confrontation in order
yeah.
to
I mean,
that makes
it's
sense.
even though I don't like the stipulation, it's a good opportunity to put Hangman in something else
Mm,
and get his focus away from the world title for a while.
right.
Because that's been his
Yeah.
focus.
Yeah. I might have been rushing it a little bit. Of course, there's like stuff they can do in between with
Yeah,
other championships and stuff or whatever, you know.
yeah. So,
Mhm.
well, I mean, we'll see what happens down the line. But like you said, MJF has a litany of challengers in his wake. I mean, like, it's probably going to be Omega at Dynasty. I'm sure Swerve will get a shot down the line. Osprey, as we mentioned, Andrade is still around. Now Darby wants a shot. Um, so yeah, I like that there's so many people that are vying for the world title. It means that the world title is important, and it means that people care about being at the top, um, which is what you're supposed to do. So, and I would love to see Andrade be the world champion one time down the line. I don't know when, but down the line. I mean, I'm sure Swerve will be champion again one day. Kenny deserves
Not
another
sure what
run.
happened here. That was my fault, probably. Had a connection issue there. Sorry about that.
Oh no, no problem. I didn't even realize that something happened until you said it.
Yeah,
So
sorry. I'll explain later. But anyway,
no, I was just saying that I like that there's a lot of people vying for the world title. It means that the title means something to everybody and that it's important and that people want it to because they want to be at the top of the card because they
hmm
want to be the best.
hmm
And that's what it's supposed to be.
right. As much as you'd like to have Heyman, you know, become a multi-time world champion, he's not the only one there. So you can
Yeah.
give, if he need it, looks like he's gonna be taking some time off. That's good. Now you can put some other people up and give them a spot.
Yep. And like I said, and I mentioned Andrade could definitely see him being a world champion down the line. Kenny is absolutely gonna get another run. Not right now, but I'm sure it's going to happen. Um, and yeah, Swerve is there, Darby is there, um, and there's you know a lot of guys that are going to move up the card down the line. Kyle Fletcher, Kevin Knight. Um, the list is endless of the potential talent that they have for the future and current. So I think that is where we're going to close this one out. Thank you, everybody, for listening or watching. Make sure to go to our linktree / going over big time podcast for all the ways to watch, listen, support us on social media. For me, Alan, as well as the podcast itself, we have a profile on for the podcast on pretty much everything: Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter. So yeah, give us a follow on all of those platforms and look out for other things that we might be doing. Um, so that is going to do it for me. Alan, give us your closing thoughts.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, everyone, for listening to us tonight. Review the show is very solid. A lot of interesting storylines that could stem from this going forward, and we're looking forward to seeing what unfolds.
All right, sounds good. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good one.